March 11, 1942. Dear Margie. Sorry, I haven't written before, dear, but if I remember correctly, you owe me a letter. However, I expected to write first, but have been pretty busy trying to prepare for the tests this coming week. Tomorrow night, to be exact. Didn't it turn nasty after I left the city Sunday night? We had a regular blizzard Monday, rain Tuesday, and it has started to rain again this evening. Even the weather man disapproved of me leaving you, dear. Just goes to show you how important it is that we should marry at once. If we wait too long, there might be a flood, who can tell? I did take an hour off last night to do a little work on the plate I'm carving. The chisel slipped and cut a hole in the tablecloth. The landlady didn't say anything, but she thought a lot, I could tell. What a guy. First in Niagara I set the bed afire, and here I cut up the table. What next? Some of the men are starting the mixing plant on the hill. So far, I am still inside and hope I stay there until they get above the mud level. The mud around that job is terrible, like soup, and from 3 to 8 and 10 inches deep. Got a letter from home, and apparently Joyce couldn't meet the qualifications necessary for the line of work she wanted to take up. Am I pleased, and am writing her to try and stop any further goose chase. Well, darling, what is the verdict for this coming weekend? Let me know before Saturday, won't you, dear? I may be able to wangle out of working Sunday, if we are to work. Huge bye for the present, Margie. All my love. As ever, Roger XXXX. March 12, 1942. Dear Margie. Have just returned from school and am pretty tired, and I don't mind saying so. Well, darling, seeing that you can't be here to darn my socks and sew buttons on my shirts, I'll do it myself and let you copy my notes for me. Would you mind typing out these notes? This set belongs to the school and I am supposed to return them next Thursday, but if you can't do it, then the following week will do. I am taking for granted that you are going to type them for me. Received your letter today. Weren't the snaps good? I'll keep these 3. The one of you moving on skis isn't blurred the least bit. How about the rest? I hope the babe is okay by now and that Barb is feeling better. The excitement of coming home and the baby's illness would naturally set her back. Well, darling, Rolly looks as if he would like the light off, so we'll say bye-bye for the present. All my love, darling, and until I see you on the 28th. As ever. Roger XXXX. March 22, 1942. Dear Margie. Received your letter Thursday, dear, meant to answer Friday, but this house was in such a turmoil that it was practically impossible. 2 of the lads left their jobs or were fired, I don't know which. Anyways, when we came home from work Friday, 4 of them were sitting on the floor with a case of beer and a bottle. I stayed until about 8:30, then thought I had better go, so I took in the picture how green was my valley and had some trouble in seeing it at first. However, it's good, a little sad, and with an ending that somehow seems to leave a lot unsaid. Try and see it, dear, you would enjoy it, I am sure. I must admit I was disappointed you not coming over this week. I had my weekend mixed, kept thinking that this was the excursion weekend. Had I known in time I would have come to the city. The week is too long, Margie. 2 weeks is bad enough, but this is the second time this 3-week separation has occurred. We will have to do better than that. Got quite a shock the other day when I found out my income tax. I didn't know I had spent so much money, and it's going to take some financing to keep ends together. It's easy to see why I need someone to keep my head above water. Guess I'll write to one of these love loss columns in the Dime magazine unless you have a better suggestion. We have been pretty busy this week building a mixing plant and an overhead bridge over the headworks. It was the first high work I had experienced since leaving the Niagara job, and I really enjoyed it, although a couple of days it was pretty windy and we didn't accomplish much. Got a letter from home, and Joyce is still after the uniform. Don has left the power plant and has had a couple of offers for other jobs, but so far hasn't accepted any of them. Also, a letter from my new sister sending me a couple of snaps. One of Gil and herself, another of the wedding supper table, both pretty fair. Well, darling, guess that's about all for the present. Write particulars for this coming weekend. Lots of love, darling. As ever. Roger XXXX.